Hello everyone, welcome to darkfaetarot. You are joining me on the end of what was a cool autumn day. It is autumn equinox. Welcome to the new subscribers, welcome back to those who already know me. So yes, I hope you are having a wonderful start to the season wherever you are. Of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it is the start of spring. So again, welcome to everybody who already knows me, and yeah, just great to have you here. So I'm going to jump right in because this is quite exciting. It is a special review. I very rarely say that, but I've got to say it. It is a special review, and that, of course, is for the Peculiar Pathways Tarot. This is a 78 card, if I'm right, tarot deck by Lennox Rees, who is the creator. She also is the creator of the Guidebook, which I just need to get from the shelf. So hold on a second, I'll just go and grab that. But whilst I'm doing that, I just want to say that Lennox Rees also goes by the social media name of Hello Ivy. So I will try to remember to link her details in the description box below. This is an indie deck purchase, and I bought it together with the guidebook for approximately, I think it was 70 euros. I can't remember, it was last year, which is about 70 US dollars. Just to be very clear, I bought it from Salon de Zacana in France, because I'm based in the EU, and that is an exceptionally good price. That includes, of course, now it's been shipped already to Europe, and it includes the customs tax that the boutique paid. So that is a very good price for this deck, which I know is still quite high compared to the US, but for us, much better. So including a guidebook. So yeah, really good price point. I want to start off with that. So I'm going to start opening it as we have a look. Let's say what it says. Yeah, so it is Follow the Path of 78 cards filled with collage art, vignettes, peeking into whimsical worlds of unique vintage treasures and creatures. Your pathway is awaiting. This is the first edition, designed in Oregon. And yes, again, hello Ivy, ivylee.com, lennoxrees.com. Okay, so yes, let's have a look and let's jump into it. This is kind of like a magnetic box closure. And we open it like this, and this is the inside of the box. And I'm just going to speak, and of course these are the backs. I'm going to speak as I open this because I just want to try and get as much information in as possible. This is linen cardstock. I don't know what the GSM is that what? Yeah, of the cards is. These are the backs, and the edging is this very subtle, kind of like a pale green. I don't know if it's coming out well on camera, but it's like a very subtle pale green. It is an exceptional deck. I want to start off by saying that this deck that Lennox Rees has produced, let me put the box back again just for a second. This deck for me comes in at a gold standard for independent creators. And I want to say that straight off. And of course, I've purchased this deck with my own money. Nothing has been solicited. But I just want to say straight off, this deck, the standard is just off the chart. Not just the art, but the guidebook and the quality. So we're going to go through it, but I have to say that from the outset. And I just feel like this is a case study in production of indie. And the thing is that all of this has been done at a really great price point. What I also know from Lennox Rees on her social media was at one point, I do understand that I don't know if it was this edition, but there was a problem with the print run. Some of the cards had like a shadow on them. And I know that Lennox Rees actually had those cards corrected, as in she had a new batch of those cards done, and then by hand went and replaced them through all the hundreds of decks that had already been printed, which, you know, just tells me this is an exceptional creator. So I just want to say that as well. Okay, so the quality of the cards and the guidebook are wonderful. I've talked about that, and I've talked about the price point. And yeah, I'm going to go through the deck now, and I'm just going to talk about the cards first. So of course here we have the Fool. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith system, so the cards are in that kind of order. So here we have the Fool. You know, I can keep saying beautiful and stunning, but I'm just going to say that for me, I use this during the Virgo season. Now, I am a Virgo ascendant. I am like nitpicky anal. For those who know Virgo ascendants, you know how I like. Really, really nitpicky. This is the High Priestess. And one of the reasons why when I was going through, like, you know, what should I use for this season, and why this deck jumped out at me as a possibility was, it is, you know, it's earthbound, of course. Virgo is a mutable earth energy. We're looking at the end of summer. And this deck to me really represents that sense of, let me just see if I can, I'm a bit worried that the cards aren't coming out strong enough. Hold on a second. Let me switch on a second light. Ooh, maybe that might make a difference. I just want to make sure that the lighting is good. So the cards are of an exceptional artwork. There are no humans, but there is a feeling of humanoids in this deck, which I love. Like here, you know, we have kind of like, you know, the glove of the knight kind of thing. And that's what I find really exceptional about this deck. They've also got kind of like somewhat characters from the human aspect. And I just really love that. I mean, look at this Hermit card and the two Gators coming in. You get a certain sense of solace, quietness. One of the things that I really picked up about this deck was it reminds me of, it's an Alice deck for me, which means it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. It's curious, it's kooky, it stretches the imagination. You know, we're entering another world. We're going down kind of like some kind of a tunnel here. And I feel as if I'm in a very curated garden. Now, this is a field, of course, but I feel like I'm in a very curated garden because of the way that the borders are done in this deck. Sorry, just move that. But the way that the foliage is done, that the landscape, and then you've got the collage art, and somehow Lennox Rees creates this kind of like a window into what we're looking at, and she's got a very curated window. So the gardens are curated, and then her perspective on the artwork is curated. I don't know if any of this is real. I'm just projecting what I see from this. I haven't read the intro to the guidebook, and I did that on purpose so it would not influence what I think of the deck as I'm talking about it, if that makes sense. I wanted to give a much more unfiltered idea and thought about this deck. If you are someone who you know, every now and then splurges on an indie deck, I know that, of course, right now we're in very difficult times with our financial situation. So I would never ever encourage anyone to put themselves into a difficult situation. I bought last year. This year I bought very few indie decks. So, you know, even I'm being really careful right now with my purse strings. I would just say to have this on your wish list, because this is one of those decks where the investment comes back tenfold in I would think in use and your enjoyment of the deck. That's how I feel about it. So like I said, I feel like it's very curated. The level of detail of the artwork, the thinking, I don't know how this was executed, how she did the layering and so forth. So no idea of that, but I think that, of course, a lot of work probably went into each and every key. And I really believe when I look at this deck, there are many times I've worked with a deck and I've thought, I wonder if the artist really knows tarot, kind of thing. But exceptionally, the artist knows tarot. She knows tarot. I mean, of course. But what I'm trying to say is there is no doubt left that she is an expert in it. And I just feel like the whole deck is just amusing in some ways as well. Like this Five of Wands, there's a certain cheekiness to it. There's a certain playfulness. We're given different perspectives. Again, like I said, I like the fact that there's no humans, but there's a very human perspective. Like, this is a hot air balloon, for heaven's sake. I mean, only a human would be on there, but this one's got a dragon on it. So you can see, like, you know, there's a lot of thought that's put into. I mean, look at this Ten of Wands with those claws. So, and then carrying that huge heavy bag, and then there's metal. I mean, just again, and then here we see the thorniness. So, you know, she's not just slapped on any foliage. She's really thought about what goes with this deck and what goes with the artwork. I love that sense of symmetry on the sides. It kind of like brings the whole thing together. I don't know how else to put it. I'm not an art expert in any way, so I am blabbering a bit, I know, but I'm just trying to give you my thoughts on this. The color scheme is another thing about this deck. It's very, very unique. Her use of these pale blues, like that, there's lighting there. That's not a, there's a change in the depth of that blue. So it really is a sky. And then you've got this gritty, not grit, yeah, I mean, this very painted desert theme, you know, and then this very strange, I mean, she's really thought through the human eye and how it sees landscape, and then she's added on all these objects and animals and symbols. So we really have like a cacophony of magic with a twist. That's what I would say, of just oddness and yeah, I mean, you know, I think I've just done another video where I said something like, you know, I'm not great with collage decks, and then I see something like this and I'm just, it's blown out. It's, you know, my thoughts are blown out the water. So yeah, I really, really like that. I also like that she doesn't always border the tops. You can see a difference there going on. So yeah, this is one of those decks where I have to come back and reinterpret the cards in a way that I'm seeing them, because I think that the artist wants to bring that in. The guidebook's going to explain a lot, and we're going to go into that. But I think that the artist also gives us a chance to make the key what we want it to be, using the illustrations as a jumping off point. So this 10 of Cups for me, there is something so much about it, about unlocking that happiness, unlocking that joy, and, you know, making that brave step. And, you know, you've got this big umbrella thing going on. It's just very, very interesting. So for me, that's a representation a little bit of, you know, the rainbow in the back. So, you know, yeah, there's something about this whole deck where I am pushed into reinterpreting the key again. There's a certain, I would say like a British eccentric gentleman about this deck. But again, for me, the whole thing, even though there's landscapes in there, it's like we're peering through a garden kind of like scene. And what a beautiful Three of Swords, yeah. So yeah, I think she gets us to question our standing. Also, like this one, I really like this. I remember pulling this card, and just again, it was like that cheekiness of the human statue that's been taken over by these animals and this flora. I think she makes me anyway really rethink my relationship with these animals and how I traditionally see them, and makes me reconsider what I think or so forth. There's a human eye there. She's very clever. So yeah, and I feel like that might be a mirror. I don't know. So it's us being mirrored there for a second. So yeah, here's the Eight of Swords. I love the fact that the bed is empty. Again, a nod to the humanness with that rib cage. Love this Page of Swords. I remember pulling this. So here's our knight, our queen, okay, our king. And so we're at the final. So these are the pentacles, the coins. So each key for me, even though she's gone through this elaborate process of illustration, there's a lot of clarity. I mean, not only the key is clearly labeled, but there's a lot of clarity through the art. We're not left puzzled too much. She gives enough for us to that looks like a face. She gives enough for us to really work with the images, but you know, it's not too hard. It's not kind of like we're left really puzzled. If you know your Rider-Waite-Smith, this is not a tough deck. If you know your tarot, it's not a difficult deck to work with. I would not put this as a beginner deck. I would not suggest that. I think you do need to know your keys, and you need to know them to a good, healthy extent. But if you are at that point where you're like, okay, I need challenging, I want to explore further, then I would definitely recommend this deck. And again, if you like that Alice in Wonder kind of like feeling of curiosity, I believe she writes on her Instagram, "Stay curious." I love that little slogan. I was like, that's cute. Look at this queen. Again, I'm a huge Queen of Pentacles fan. You all know that by now. And I just love this. Oh, she's beautiful. She's so regal. Oh, I I'm actually like my biggest significator is the Page of Coins, which is of course the Princess of Coins, the Princess of Discs in the Thoth, but she becomes the Queen, you know. So I always think one day I will grow into becoming the Queendom. And here's our King, Taurian energy. Okay, so we're going to give it a good shuffle, and then I'm going to first, actually, before the pairings, let's make sure that I show you the guidebook. So we're 15 minutes in. We're not doing so bad. I did blabber on there, but actually I went okay. The other thing I want to say about Lennox Rees as I shuffle this is she is one of the few creators that when I started to post, she interacted with all of my posts, which I really appreciate. You know, I don't request it, I don't ask for anything, I don't solicit it. I do tag the creator if I can on Instagram when I post every day, so that they are aware that their deck is on display, that it's attributed to them. If you sometimes I've been asked where the card, I always say if you just click more, because on Insta you just see the first like line or so, but if you click more, I have everything laid out of where, you know, what deck this is, who's the creator. I tag it. I also try if I can to add in the publishing company where relevant. Okay, so I think that's shuffled enough. Ooh, don't want to damage them. I'm trying to go fast, so I just want to make sure I don't damage them as I try to do this. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start off with the Magician. Ooh, what a beautiful card. Yeah. So let's read what it says about the Magician. Now, all of the cards, all 78, have the same amount written, so it doesn't matter if you have a major or minor, you're going to get the same. Maybe just to make that sure, let's look at the Eight of Wands instead, because I just want to make sure people really understand that, you know, each key is given a lot of love. So this is the guidebook. Now, traditionally, I don't know if everywhere it's sold with the deck or without. I don't know, separate. I bought mine together. I think there was the option of just buying the deck, but I wanted the guidebook. So I did purchase it. It's called Wanders and Wandering Peculiar Pathways Supplement. Let me be very clear. Get the guidebook, because now I'm going to explain Lennox Rees's, for me, how I see her vision 2.0 kind of thing. So I'm going to just do that for a second, because we're going to look at the Eight of Coins. I believe, and I'm going to say this, there is a few creators I can name where the love, intention, and creativity and depth that the guide has, that's in the cards and the art, is in the guidebook. So it is a standalone, really creative piece. And if Lennox Rees produces her own book in the future, just a book on, I don't know, magic or whatever, or the keys, or I don't know, I would buy it just for her writing. That's how impressed I am. So each key, you get a keyword. What you also get then, so this is the Eight of Wands, yeah. So it says here at the top, it says, the chirping of crickets in the warm breeze fills with your senses with comfort and glee. You think to yourself, what a perfect day to progress in travels. Humming while bobbing your head, you reach an estate tucked along the river bank among the trees. An aerial ship, this is why I love her, it's very steampunkish. An aerial ship zooms by with a dragon clinging onto one of the copper spheres. The air forcefully follows up behind and almost takes your breath away. That. So what was that? You accept that as a sign to keep moving forward, or you'll lose it when you stop. The keywords, by the way, I forgot to say, were effort, advancement, grit, and triumph. So then she goes on to write, the flying ship's acceleration soars with energetic urgency. Full steam ahead. Good vibrations and powerful motivation fuel a smooth and rapid progression in a fresh direction. The dragon's excitement exchanges energy with the craft, and a sudden flow of movement stabilizes into a fast pace. Great efforts full of passion go your way and go directly into your intended target. Where are you attempting to land as you race towards your goals, unhindered through the open sky? The time is now. Jump, plant down into the earth and grow. As you blossom where you land, new opportunities and ideas can thrive with an open mind to receive and notice positive messages. Your intuition is on the go, offering quick results. When your mind is clear and stable, you can achieve a lot, and your awareness can pick up on speedy changes. Navigate your way through those shifts in activity. At times, the fiery passion of fierce pace seems overwhelming. It is as if it is too much to handle and you'll crash and burn too focused driven on your current target. So this is more in a slightly shadow phase. With such deep passion, be aware of losing yourself in the process. Being overly consumed and too committed to the goal and action can cause the need to learn how to fly again. When was the last time you experienced burnout, with nothing else left to give except barely going through the motions of the day and tasks? Know your limits, but steadily push forward to stretch and extend your boundaries. So yeah. And then each one you'll get here, and it's a lot here. You'll get the card and you'll get the RWS. And then you'll get a little bit of what's in each one. So the aerial ship and a little description of why that's in there. The dragon, the flag, the house, the cricket, the landscape, the river. So for me, the dragon just really stood out to me. So if I read the dragon, it would say, a guardian, the primal nature of the dragon breathes fiery energy, and it's a winged gust of passionate power to increase the momentum of the aeroship moving forward. Rests on the copper spheres with strength, courage, and wisdom. So, yeah, okay, so I've blathered on enough. So if Lennox Rees produces her own book on something else, I will get it, because I just love reading this stuff. So yeah, an exceptional writer. Okay, let's do some pairings. We're at 21 minutes. So let's do some pairings. So again, let's switch up the first card. Let's put this one on there. So here we have the Queen of Swords. So the first pairing naturally, of course, is our Coastal Curiosities Oracle deck, but also by Lennox Rees. This was actually the first deck of hers that I purchased. So I already knew that she was a great creator. But I mean, yeah, I think that it's worth getting both actually if you could. So it says here, repair. Wow, just again, beautiful pairings. 8 of coins, advantage. Again, beautiful cardstock. Ace of Wands, compassion. Look how they mirror each other. And then you have 10 of Cups and you have depth. Oh, beautiful. The guidebook, by the way, to the Coastal Curiosities is also amazing. So yeah, I think that they go very well together. And a couple of other pairings now I'm going to show you. Now, this is a mass market deck, but I love it. Woodland, what do you mean, but? Woodland Wardens 52 card deck, which are by Jessica Rue. The tarot is coming out this autumn. So if you can get the tarot, I would get it. I love, love, love this oracle. I've used it plenty of times. Let's do a few pairings. We have Overcoming Obstacles and the Empress, the Goat and the Willow. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. Natural pairing there, I think. Strength, and we have Purification. Wow. The Lovers and Balance. Look at that. Beautiful energies there. Justice and Happiness. So again, you get an idea of how well they synchronize. And again, it's just perfect for the end of summer, early autumn, this period of time. That's why I wanted to really put this out there, this review. Okay, and let's just do the last pairing. I need to shuffle a little bit again, I think. Okay, so what do we begin with right now? Oh, we're back. Oh, let's just change that a bit. Okay, we begin with Temperance here. Okay, and the last one I want to show you is the Pythia Botanica Oracle by Leila and Olive. I think her name is also Nicola Rallis. This is an indie deck. This is volume 1 of the Oracle. There's also volume 2. One of them is discontinued. I don't know which one. That's what I understand when I first purchased it, but I don't know which one they decided not to continue. This is the first time I use this deck, and let me just tell you, the guidebook is tiny, but it's mighty. I love this deck. So it says here, Begin Forever and Temperance. Reflect and Emit with a Devil. Beautiful pairing. 5 of Coins and Boundary. Knight of Wands and Gratitude. Look how they're facing away from each other. Tells a story there. 9 of Swords and Escape. Wow. Look how they just really bounce off each other. I love this deck. I have all of the Leila and Olive decks actually so far. I think they've got 6 and I've bought all of them. if they've got more coming out, I'll snap them up. Remember, with 8 of coins, powerful. And 9 of wands with ameliorate, feather view. One last one, let's just do one last one. Outshine, apathy, and we have the 4 of wands. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Okay, so I'm going to stop there. You get an idea of the pairings. Again, you know, I just want to say a big thank you to Lennox Rees for following me as I did the showing of her deck on Instagram and being very supportive. I don't have that often, so I'm really, it's so nice to have that, actually, that feeling. I think she's a great creator. I think this is an amazing deck. If you have the chance to purchase it, of course, never put yourself into a difficult position, but if you have the chance to purchase it, I would definitely recommend it. I'm trying to do that bit where you can just see some cards at the end. And yeah, so again, I can't recommend it enough. Have I covered everything? I think I have. I just want to look at this. Yeah, and I would love to see a book from Lennox Rees in the future. If she ever has the inclination to produce one, I'm definitely going to grab that too. So thank you everybody for, oh yeah, and I do know that Hello Ivy Lennox has also currently a tiny oracle that she's produced. I think she's done it as a prototype, and if it's a hit, she's going to produce more. So perhaps if there's still some left, you might want to snap that up. But other than that, I'm going to stop there. Thank you everybody for joining me. I will see you soon. And until then, have a wonderful autumn wherever you are, or spring. And I'll see you all soon. Take care now.